The world has been shaken by spacequakes ever since the largest one recorded in Eurasia. They claimed the lives of 150 million people and obliterated the area where it occurred. Shido Itsuka, who lives with his energetic younger sister Kodori. One morning, they head to school after hearing news of a minor spacequake that took place recently, and they both promise to meet at a nearby family restaurant. Upon heading to Raisin High School, Shio meets his classmate, who is introduced as the class genius Origami Dabichi. Soon, a spacequake emergency alert was announced throughout the metropolis. Before long, much of the population is safe underground. However, Shido discovers that Kodori's GPS location is still at the family restaurant. Afraid for her safety, Shido goes out to get her. But on his way, he was swept away by a spacequake. In the middle of the crater caused by the spacequake, a girl appears dressed in a lavishly decorated armor, asking Shido if he will kill her. Before Shido could answer her, several flying Eden swoop down, with the one in the middle aggressively attacking the mysterious girl using missiles. However, the armored girl wields her blade and nullifies the attacks against her. In the fight, she and Shido quickly recognized each other. Soon, Origami prepares to fight the girl using an energy sword, and the battle unleashes a powerful shockwave that ultimately knocks Shido out. Shido soon finds himself being monitored by a lady in military attire named Rene Murasame. Rene tells Shido that he is aboard the Fraxinus, the vessel of the Ratatosphore, after he lost consciousness in the battle. Rene took him to the bridge, where Shido discovers that the captain is his younger sister Kodori. As Kodori calls the mysterious girl a spirit, she explains that spirits are otherworldly beings who create spacequakes upon arriving on Earth, regardless of their will. Secondly, the ones who attacked the spirit earlier is the AST, or Anti-Spirit Team, a task force with duties to combat spirits who manifest on Earth. Thirdly, there is a way to defeat a spirit without killing it, and Shido is the person they need for this. Kodori reveals that she actually left her phone on the family restaurant shortly after parting with Shido. Presently, they are currently 15,000 meters above sea level. The day after that, Rene Murasame joins the faculty of Raisin High School as the new physics teacher. Rene thinks that it is a good idea for someone from Ratatosphore to watch over him, while Kodori has already done something about her middle school education. Soon, Kodori asks Rene to give Shido a look at the newest weapon against the spirits. Turns out Shido discovers that is a girl game designed for him to learn how to make a spirit fall in love with him. Meanwhile, Origami meets up with Shido and reveals that Origami was orphaned after a spirit killed her family 5 years ago. After a sleepless night clearing the gouge given to him by Kodori, Shido heads to school. He visits the physics preparation room, and Rene installs an invisible earpiece to his right ear. Soon, Kodori arrives and announces that the stage 2 of his training will start shortly. Shido must try to make his teacher Tame to fall in love with him. Shido clearly struggles in this exercise. He first tries out complimenting Tame's attire, but Rene soon guides Shido into using sweet talk that she thinks is effective against a 29-year-old like Tame, and the plan worked. Fortunately, Shido manages to get away from Tame, although he runs right into Origami. Kodori decides to use her for Shido's training. This time, it seems that it works like a charm, but Shido's embarrassment over this situation ends up with their supposed date becoming a reality. Soon, a spacequake emergency is sounded throughout the school premises, and Kodori tells Shido to retreat to the Fraxinus. Hours later, Shido is redeployed to the school premises. After a short pep talk followed by an introduction of her crew, Kodori leaves a rather nervous Shido to his mission. Shido was able to get to the spirit, however. The spirit refuses to listen to him, and even with the assistance of the girl game style analysis team of Ratatosphore, Shido remains close to danger. Eventually, Shido decides to act by himself, and he declares that he is determined to not reject her. At that instant, the ruthless spirit childishly rejects Shido's serious statement. However, she eventually warms up to Shido, as she considers him as the first human to have talked to her. Shido soon discovers that the spirit doesn't have a name, so Shido gave her the name Toka. Suddenly, a hail of gunfire rains down on Toka from above. Toka advises Shido to move away from her to avoid getting caught in the crossfire, but Shido strongly refused and asked her to talk with him. Toka eventually complies to Shido's request, trigger barrier to protecting them. During the conversation, Toka reveals that she doesn't know much about herself and the reason why she suddenly appears on Earth, ending up getting attacked in the process. Meanwhile, anti-spirit team discover a civilian with a spirit. Upon recognizing who this civilian is, Origami swoops in to confront Toka. She summons her weapon Sandalphon and slashes at the two. Origami manages to survive the encounter with Toka that night, and was given a short sermon by her superior about being reckless in her duties before being taken to safety. Shio returned to the ruins of Raisin High School. A familiar voice calls out to him, and Toka emerges from behind him, expecting Shido to fulfill what he promised to her. He and Toka head out to their date. As Toka indulges herself with different kinds of food, from swimming bread to hot dogs, Toka tries to determine what exactly is a date. Thanks to the vouchers he receives from a chance encounter with Tanamachi, Shio manages to afford to take Toka to a rather expensive restaurant. Shido gets a surprise when many of the employees inside are actually people from Ratatas, going undercover to monitor Toka's emotional levels. Kodori tells Shido to head to the nearby bridge. It turns out that Ratatoskra converted a nearby residential area into several food booths. Shido and Toka are treated into an all-expenses-paid promo. Meanwhile, Toka continues to sate her bottomless stomach. After all of the events, Shido finally explains that a date is when a boy and girl go out together and have fun. Based on Shido's definition, Toka concludes that they had an outstanding date. Meanwhile, the AST closely watches as the spirit named Toka manifests herself without space-time quake occurrence. Although faced with such an unusual scenario, the permission to use sniping weapons has been given. Evening. Toka realizes that she had been destroying this world through her manifestations. Shido refuses to believe that Toka does not deserve to stay on Earth, and he assures her that she can stay on Earth for good, even if the rest of the world rejects her. For a split second, Origami fires upon Toka, but accidentally shoots Shido. Shido is dead in front of her, and she has finally accepted Earth's decision to reject her. Upon summoning her astral dress and her angel Sandalphon, she unleashes her ultimate weapon, the Halvan Helef. Origami still frozen in shock after firing upon her classmate. With a rampaging spirit, a space-time quake alert has been issued. If Toka is not calm, the city would be annihilated. However, Kodori calmly assures everyone that Shido is safe. Soon enough, Shido is revived. Origami is deafened by the realization that she killed a human, while Toka is blinded by seething rage towards her. Just then, Shido is fly towards Toka. She is overjoyed to see Shido alive. However, she tells Shido that her final sword is reaching its critical limit, and the energy it holds must be released. Shido tells Toka they need to kiss, and she kisses Shido instead. All of the remnants of her spirit form dissipated. Although embarrassed, Toka asks if Shido would take her again for a date, and he says yes. After some time, Shido is surprised that Toka transferred to a school. While running through the rain, Shido sees a little girl playing around in the shrine before she trips and falls. Shido notices a puppet on the ground, and he picks it up and gives it back to her. To his complete surprise, the puppet begins talking without the girl's help. The puppet introduces themselves as Yashinon and thanks Shido for helping her up. At school, Toka has made cookies and competes with Origami for attracting Shido's attention. In order to settle both girls down, he tries both cookies and compliments both equally. Later at home, Shido finds Toka at his home. He learns from Kodori that Toka will be living in his house, since he has sealed her powers, where Kodori and Reine explain that it is also training for Shido, as he still has to assist in sealing more spirits. Next day at school, both Toka and Origami once again fight over Shido on who gets to sit next to him during lunch. Later, a spacequake alarm sounds off during their class. Shido asks Tame to look after Toka as he and Rain leave, with Toka visibly worried about where he might go. Aboard Fraxinus, Shido is surprised to find out that it is the little girl he encountered yesterday, surprising Kodori that he met the spirit, codenamed Hermit. Kodori then tells Shido that unlike other spirits, she is not aggressive or hostile, but is rather passive. At that moment, the AST arrived, shocked at how the AST would still try to kill a docile spirit even that is just a little girl. The AST then loses sight of Hermit, but the Fraxinus crew located Hermit in a closed mall. Shido tells Kodori to send him down to talk to her before the AST find her again. Shido ventures through the mall and eventually encounters Hermit. Shido then introduces himself, at which the puppet introduces themselves as Yashinon. Shido then asks if it is her or the puppet's name, and which causes Yashinon to hysterically ask what he meant, to which Shido immediately corrects his previous question. Shido tries to warn Yashinon about the jungle gym being dangerous until she falls, causing her to land on Shido, resulting in their lips touching each other. Unfortunately, he is surprised to see Toka standing just near them. Toka then angrily asks Shido what he just did, and she then angrily remarks at him for making her worry just to see another girl. She confronts Yashinon, which the latter creates a misunderstanding by telling Toka that Shido had gotten tired of her and decided he likes Yashinon more than her, which provokes Toka to grab the puppet. Yashinon, the little girl's mental condition, is starting to decrease rapidly. Suddenly, Yashinon calls forth her angel, Sakiel. She then tears the place apart before leaving, but is spotted by the awaiting AST and prompts them to open fire on her. Sakiel then causes a sudden burst of snow to erupt, allowing Yashinon to escape without notice. With Hermit no longer in their sights, Ryoko orders Origami and the rest to return back to base. As she leaves, Origami spots something on the ground. Back with Shido, he asked Toka if she is alright, with her responding that she is fine and asks that Shido leave her alone. When Shido tries to talk to her, Toka pushes him away, but seemingly hurts Shido's left arm, initially worried about him. Toka then remarks how he likes that other girl than her, at which Kodori sarcastically comments on Shido's new problem. At the Atsuka residence, Shido asking Toka to let him explain, but she refuses, still upset over what happened before. Later, Shido go for grocery shopping. He finds Yashinon looking for something on the ground. He notices that she is missing her puppet when she fled from the AST the day before, reporting to Kodori about this issue. The little girl reveals that her real name is Yoshino, and that the puppet they are looking for is Yashinon. They too continue to search for Yashinon until Yoshino's stomach groans. Kodori then contacts Shido and tells him that it would be best to take a break and eat for now. At the Shido household, he prepares a meal for Yoshino. After eating, Shido asks her why she never fights back against the AST. Yoshino say that she does not like violence or being afraid. Shido pets her head, and upon being asked why, he proclaims to Yoshino that he is here to protect her, and that they will find Yashinon. He then tries to kiss her to seal Yoshino's power. However, Toka arrives and catches both him and Yoshino, much to his dismay. Yoshino then disappears upon and Toka angrily leaves. Later, Shido visits Origami, with Kodori confirmed that she had taken Yashinon during the aftermath. Inside, when Origami takes a shower, Shido takes his chance and finally found Yashinon. After that, they have a conversation about Spirit. Shido say that he has talked to Spirit before, to her horror and utter disbelief. He insists to Origami that not all spirits are as bad as she thinks, and that spirits like Toka and Yoshino are good, and that he is going to help Yoshino. At that moment, Origami's phone rings, prompting her to leave immediately. Somewhere in the city, Yoshino is being chased and attacked by the AST. As Ryoko opens fire on her, Yoshino summons Sakiel, causing the area around her to freeze. Just then, Yoshino hears Shido calling out to her. When Shido is about to give her back Yashinon, Origami fires at Yoshino, hitting her angel and scaring Yoshino. Sakiel begins to attack again, but with Shido in front of the oncoming blast. From afar, Toka, seeing Shido is in danger, she summons her angel, protecting Shido from Sakiel just in time. Toka then goes to Shido, and Shido asks her to help him save Yoshino. He reveals to Toka that Yoshino is a spirit as well. Touched by Shido's words, Toka decides to help him. Meanwhile, a blizzard has erupted from Yoshino's angel, preventing the AST from attacking. At this moment, Toka, protecting Yoshino by engages Origami in a duel. As Toka distracts AST, Shido arrives near the blizzard, but if he goes through the barrier without any sort of protection, he could die even with spirit power. But Shido continues on toward the blizzard to Yoshino. Inside, Yoshino cries out Yashinon's name, but to her surprise, she sees Yashinon carried by Shido, who then falls to the ground. Yoshino thanks him for being nice to her and for saving Yashinon. Yoshino stands up and kisses him. Afterwards, Yoshino's astral dress and the blizzard disappear. The next day, Kodori reveals that the building next to their house is a special housing unit for the spirits, saying that Toka will then move out and instead live at the special house, including Yoshino. Greetings, it's Makoto-chan. Our journey today may have concluded, but the tales of the anime world are endless. Honor our tales by pressing the subscribe button and let the bells of notifications ring. Peruse these other stories, and may we meet again under the starry night.